is a potential objective short trade idea and technical analysis on IRS, a company of the real estate sector here off the 240-minute interval. We have some really interesting developments. One of the crowd favorites of the Wall Street bets in the 8th Village here off this massive parabola that we're building up over time, multiple reactionary, continuous reactionary lows to help validate that as well. Just a ton of support all across the board going up in this parabolic state. And we do have some interesting developments in the momentum indicators starting to wane out and or become a lot more increasingly damaged. We do have hidden stochastics, negative divergences. We almost had that equal high, which would have only about darn near close to exaggerated negative and or bearish divergences on all three of the regular oscillator MACD and RSI indicators here. And we do have, so it's just a confluence of damaging momentum indicators where you have that negative steep divergence in all three indicators starting to potentially play out here, which will, again, almost resulted in this almost in even highs here. And now we have hidden negative divergence on the stochastics 1033 potentially playing out. We have this gap support, gap resistance right up in between here. Just a crucial pivotal inflection point with the 240-50 moving average hovering down below, hugging this parabolic state trend line here. And I love the indicator of the 236 fibs retracement. Love using it as a short trade setup. And it's a great, definitely a great indicator for more downside to come if we take out this parabola. That's the biggest potential here. And usually a lot of stocks that go up in a parabolic state end up coming down hard in a parabolic state to the downside. So we'll see what happens. Key pivotal inflection point, that 647 price support. We take that out with conviction and especially put in a potential sell signal on a break below this 236 fibs, 627 spot price. And I would only suspect a large, big move to the downside and an extreme rush for the exits. We do have gap support right up in this key range too. But again, just a huge inflection point in my opinion. Anything's possible. Maybe bull traders and or dip buyers end up squeezing this stock to the upside and potentially carrying its parabolic state to the upside and going up much higher. Anything's possible, but I will wait for that break sell signal. Once we get that break sell signal, breaking this trend line, that'll be time to scale in my opinion, for some pretty sizable moves to the downside, taking out that gap resistance, which would be a 2.3% drop to that 236 fibs, down to my next target, most likely on a complete backfill of the gap for 8.2% crash, down to 382 fibs, 575 spot price for a 10.4% crash, down to 50% retracement, 533 spot price for a 17% crash, down to the 240-200 moving average 618, 4.91 spot price for a 24% crash, and then a revisit to the bottom of this primary uptrend line here for a 27% crash off the reactionary July 2022 lows there. So just a whole year of support here, multi-year support, call it. And that's where you'd expect dip buyers and or bull traders to start to step in. If you're a long-term believer in the real estate sector stock here, so these are some of your key averaging down positions here that you want to take and move to the downside. If we get that moved in the downside and average down, if you're a true believer in this stock for the long term, well, these are some key components. We'll take it out, zoom out really to the much larger picture off the weekly interval. So we are extremely zoomed out here where we've hit gap resistance, big gap resistance at that $7.35 price range. And as you can tell, we didn't even get shy to hitting that, but I would only suspect a very powerful move if broken out. And we never break that. If we never do break that parabola and move to the downside, then that's where bull traders and or long traders really want to take out that key level. Once they take out that key level, there's going to be some very healthy momentum indicators here in the weekly longer term intervals coinciding with crossovers on both the oscillator and MACD above their zero lines with a huge momentum shift in the oscillator starting to hone in to the upside as well. And you will officially put in a weekly golden cross between the 50 weekly and 200 weekly moving average. And that would be extremely bullish to take out that huge gap resistance. Call it a multi-decade of resistance there that it would be taken out. So we'll see what happens. Huge thin profile below, volume profile below, but we are at a key pivotal inflection point.